Good morning, students. Welcome to the virtual classrooms. We are doing the numericals for the thermodynamics. We did it in our last lecture. The last numerical that we did it was related to the Gibbs free energy. Still starting with the Gibbs free energy, we're using the same formula. We'll do it some practice as well as today we will be completing the lecture also, the chapter also, right? So make it sure that when you do it, make it as many as practice that you can do it, right? Okay, as we know that we want to do it the numericals, the value I am going to first of all copy it. The value is given to me for the reaction N2 3H2 2NH3 delta H minus 95.4 kilojoule per mole, and entropy change to 98.3 joule per Kelvin. Calculate the temperature at which Gibbs energy change is equal to 0. Predict the reaction, nature of reaction at now see here the question that is given to us, again I am repeating it, it's given to me, that is in one reaction whose enthalpy is given to me, right? That shows me delta H is minus 95.4 kilojoule per mole, delta S minus 298.3 joule Kelvin, right? They are asking me calculate the temperature at which Gibbs free energy is going to become 0, right? So this value is given to me, it's equals to 0. So first of all let us find out what is being given to us. Delta G is equals to delta H minus T delta S, right? Now you want it as a delta G equals to 0. So this one will become as delta H minus T delta S. So from this formula can I say that when will be the value equals to T delta S, right? Now because of this formula delta H is equals to T delta S, T is equals to delta H by delta S. So we got it as minus 95.4. This is in terms of kilojoules. So again we are converting it into joule. We convert it into joule, right? Whereas this one is given to me in joules only, 298.3 joule, right? So we get it as certain temperature. This temperature is in the terms of Kelvin, right? Okay. Now further it is told to me predict the nature. Now when we are talking about the nature of the reaction at 0, when your free energy is 0, so at given temperature X, what will be the condition? It will be in the equilibrium state. We know it, if delta G is equals to 0, reaction is in equilibrium, right? So at given temperature, at this temperature what will be the nature? The reaction will be in the equilibrium. Now above it, if the temperature of this reaction is above, that means more than, then what will happen? This value is given to me negative. See, therefore at X Kelvin reaction is in equilibrium. That is your first answer. Predict the nature at this temperature. Now above it, so again we will put it formula delta G is equals to delta H minus T delta S. This is negative value. This value is negative. Now this temperature into delta S is again negative. So this value with negative, it's going to make it as positive. Right? That value is going to become positive. Now if the temperature is more, if the value of the T is going to be higher, then what will happen? The overall product will be at higher temperature, T delta S will be greater than delta H. At higher temperature, T delta S will be greater than, and this is positive. Hence, delta G will be greater than 0. Therefore, reaction will be non-spontaneous. What will happen? Above that, the reaction should be non-spontaneous. Right? That means if I increase the temperature, reaction will become non-spontaneous. Okay? Clear to everyone? Now, we'll do it. The another numerical. Now this time we are having something different to be done for the numerical. For this case, the value that is given to us energy change for the reaction that is given to us, C2H2 plus 2H2 gets converted into C2H6. Okay, now it is told to us that this we want to calculate the delta G naught for this reaction, right, which is given to delta H naught for this reaction. For this reaction it is given to us delta G naught for C2H6, it is given to us 32.9 kilojoule per mole. Delta G naught for C2H2, that is given to us as 209.2 kilojoule per mole. Okay, now for this case, delta G naught I want to calculate it for the given formula. So what we will do it is similar to enthalpy or similar to entropy. We wrote it as delta H is equals to HP minus HR. Similarly, we wrote it as delta S is equals to SP minus SR. In the similar way, for these also, we will be getting it as delta G is equals to summation of GP minus GR, product minus reactant. But at the same time, delta G naught, we got it as for the GP minus 32.9, GR C2H2 209.2. But what about H2? H2 is a molecule, and when you are having it, its molecule delta G naught will be always 0. Atoms, molecules or elements like enthalpy is 0, free energy is also 0 for the given component. So that value will become 0. So we will be getting it as 32.9 minus 209.2. Get the answer. This is kilojoule. Don't write it as per mole, right? We won't write it for this type of sums when we are calculating it as mole, because it may be for 1 mole, 2 mole, 3 mole, right? So in common we will write it as kilojoule, but make it sure that the formula like HP minus HR, SP minus SR, here also you will have it as GP minus GR, right? Okay. Next, we are having it as a numericals, that is for relation between the Gibbs free energy and equilibrium constant, right? K. We know it that the formula we are going to use it for this as delta G is equals to minus 2.303 RT log K, right? C plus H2O, CO plus H2 for the given reaction at 2000 Kelvin. The given reaction is carried out at 2000 Kelvin. The standard free energy change is 8.1 kilojoule per mole. Calculate the equilibrium constant, right? Okay, now particularly for this sum, when we have been told that calculate the equilibrium constant for it, what is given to us? T 2000 K, delta G 8.1 kilojoule per mole, K we want to find out. So what is the formula that we are going to get it? Delta G is equals to minus 2.303 RT log K. The formula we will be using it is, right? Okay, now this value is given to me, it's a fixed constant. R is gas constant, and that is 8.314 joule, right, per mole Kelvin. So we will be getting it as 8.314. Now temperature for it 2000 log K, and the the delta G is given to us 8.1, right? Now this is in the terms of kilojoule per mole. See, the units, they are going to be very, very important for us. This is in kilojoule per mole. Now if I directly calculate log K, will I get the correct answer? No. This is in kilojoule per mole. This is in joule per mole Kelvin. This is in Kelvin. So what I should do, if I go for it, I want to calculate log K, 8.1 minus 2.303, 8.314, 2000. The unit we are going to get it as kilojoule per mole, joule per mole Kelvin into Kelvin, right? So what happens? This value won't be able to do it. So it is necessary that this has to be converted as 8.1 into 10 raised to 3 joules, right? So if I put it 10 raised to 3, this one will be removed. Now you can see it. joule per mole and Kelvin will be cancelled out. Right? So unitless. Log K, this time you are going to equilibrium constant do not have any unit. It's going to be unitless. So you are going to get it as minus 8100 2.303 8.314 2000. Your answer is going to be negative, minus sign, right? This is log K. We want to find out K, antilog of minus x. Now antilog of minus cannot be calculated. You know it, how to do it, right? Whatever the value you are going to get it, from its bigger value, subtract it, and you will get the positive term for it, get the antilog, and the decimal value, get it as an exponential. The log, antilog, you know it how to go for it. Still, if you find out some difficulty for log and antilog, make it sure that first of all you study how to go for calculation of the log and antilog, then go for this, right? And it is going to be compulsory for you to study log and antilog. Already in the physics, you are having it as in one of the chapter in which log and antilog is being taught. Even in the lower standards, you would have done it as in log and antilog, how to use it, right? But still, if you are having any problems, you can contact me directly, so that if necessary we will go for one of the lecture to how to calculate log and antilog, because here we are having only one formula, but in the next chapter of the equilibrium, that is chapter number 7, whenever we will be going through it, we are having it as a number of numericals or number of the formulas in which we are going through log and antilog. So make it sure that you can know how to calculate log and antilog, right? Okay, similar type of one more sum, similar type, only the values are going to be changed, right? During this time, what is the change that we are having it in the value? Just a minute, adjusting the pen. Calculate the equilibrium constant for a reaction twice NaCl gets converted into NO plus Cl2 at 400 Kelvin. The value of delta G for the reaction is see, everything is same this time, like the previous numerical we did it. For the given reaction, delta G naught, it's given to us 28.4 kilojoule per mole. We will convert it as joule per mole, right? First of all, we convert it directly. We know it now that we will be required to convert it into joules, right? Temperature is given to us 400 K. Gas constant R, it's a 8.314 joule per mole Kelvin. We want to find out equilibrium constant. So again, the same thing, delta G naught minus 2.303 RT log K. So can I write the formula delta G naught upon minus 2.303 RT? This value is there, 28.4 into 10 raised to 3 minus sign of this 2.303, 8.314, and temperature this time is 400 K. So again I am going to get it as negative value for log K. Again it's a negative. So first of all, K is equals to antilog of minus x, and minus value we can't go for it, so we will have to convert it into positive by subtracting it from bigger value, higher value of it, and then we'll get the positive term, for which we will find out the antilog, right? It's a similar type of numerical, only the factor is we change the reaction or the values, right? Whatever the reaction or values may be there, formula is going to be important, values that we have to place it, and the most important thing is converting the units. See, I am repeating it again and again number of times because many of the students are making an error for not converting the numericals, the units of into a proper conditions, and as a result what happens, they do it the sum perfectly but their answers are not correct, because this one will make it as a major change, right? So make it sure that whenever you are doing the numericals, you check the units appropriately, right? Okay, again the second factor is, for this we are having it as a unitless, so no unit is indicated over there, but wherever required, make it sure that you are having it as a unit indicated behind it, right? So without unit, the marks will be reduced, right? Let's do it one another numerical. This time something different, right? This time the value is given to us. Calculate the standard enthalpy change. For a reaction see, a moment ago in the previous numerical I told that whichever the reaction may be, it's an immaterial for us. See here, they don't give the reaction at all. They simply wrote it as some X and Y molecules, right? So like that it can be there. Reactions is the standard entropy change. Delta H is for this given reaction is there. It's given to us 28.4 kilojoule, and equilibrium constant is 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 7 at 298 K. Now, particularly this time, the values given to us, delta H 28, it's its standard value, 28 kilojoule. Delta S I want to calculate it, entropy change, and K is given to me, T is given to me. Now how to go for it? Particularly when I want to calculate delta S. So the formula, the first formula I will be using it is delta G naught is equals to delta H naught minus T delta S naught. Now T is there with me, delta H is there with me, but what about G? What about S? Two unknown variables. So for what we'll do it is, first of all we are having it as a T also given to us. So from delta G is equals to minus 2.303 RT log K, we can find out the value of G. We will be getting it as minus 2.303, 8.314, then 298 into log of 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 7, right? I am putting it here for the simplicity, right? I am not going to go for this, I am going it for 2, so that it becomes much easier for all of you. Right? We are going to get it as, first of all go for the calculation of it. We will be getting it as log 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 7. I just took it as 2, so it is a 0.3010 plus minus 7. So you will be getting it as 6.6990. Right? This is an approx value. This is the value of the log. How do we calculate it? Substitute it. Minus 2.303, 8.314, 298, 6.990. This value is in the terms of minus. Right? So what happened? This minus and this minus, both this value made the unit to be positive. So you will be getting it answer in the terms of positive value. Again, the unit will be in the terms of joule. The unit you are having it in the terms of joule, 8.314. Right? So that is going to give me the delta G value in the terms of joule, x joule. Delta H is given to me in kilojoule. So again I will have to convert it into joule. Minus 298 into delta S naught. Right? We get it as 298 into delta S naught. So we want it as 298 delta S naught is equals to x minus 28.4 into 10 raised to 3. First of all, you will get it as subtraction. I want to calculate delta S naught. So that will be x minus 28.40 into 10 raised to 3 upon 298. What is the answer you are getting it? That is in the terms of joule per Kelvin. This unit you are going to get it as joule per Kelvin. That is delta S naught for the given sum. Right? Okay. So like that, by changing the terms, by changing the values, units can be converted anywhere. Right? Or make it sure that you complete your exercise that is given in our textbook. Try to solve all the solved as well as unsolved numericals. Even in text questions are there which contain some numericals. So make it sure that you make it the notes of the complete chapter with all the numericals be done thoroughly, right? Because this Saturday when I will be going through, we will be having a test for specifically numericals only. Thank you.